Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Ellie. How are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Cool. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to our WCSA, the Wildlife Conservation in South Africa 2022 live preview. Give us a chance to break down exactly what's going to be happening with this amazing event on Sunday. Give you some updates of some of the latest news on the speakers, what we've got lined up. And basically, how to make use of the event before, during, and after it. So we thought that the best sort of way just to dive into this would be for Ellie and I just to have a little bit of a chat and sort of go through some questions, some commonly asked questions about the event. And then, just hopefully that'll break it down. But first of all, Ellie, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself, where you are at the moment and what you're up to?
I'm currently in London. I'm studying at the Royal Veterinary College and I'm in my 4th year at the moment, so just finished classes for the afternoon. So I'm just hopping on here to talk about the Wildlife Conference, which is coming up very soon. It's very exciting. I have a few questions if you want to dive straight in.
Yeah, perfect. Let's go for it. Just for those of you who don't know, Ellie's a TEP ambassador, so she sort of does a lot of sort of helping with courses and live streams in the background. But let's dive straight into it, Ellie.
Great. So first question, what motivated you to create the event and what is its main purpose?
So the Wildlife Conservation in South Africa event sort of got started off by some ambassadors last year, and in particular, Izzy, one of our first sort of ambassadors from Nottingham University, who joined us a few years ago now, actually. And what we wanted to come up with was an event initially to kind of showcase some of the amazing projects and organizations around South Africa that were really struggling because of COVID-19 and had lost a lot of their fundraising and a lot of their chance to do some of their work, and especially the ones that were sort of linked to any kind of tourism activity as well to generate funding. So they were really struggling because of COVID. So we wanted to showcase them, but also try and get some much needed fundraising for them. So this started last year, over sort of June last year, and it's a little bit later this year. Same principle, really, just to showcase some of the same organizations, but also some new ones, and just try and get them sort of as much needed fundraising as possible. Because I think what is still apparent are the after sort of effects of COVID, and some organizations had to lose a lot of staff because of COVID. They couldn't afford to pay them, so they still kind of playing catch up and trying to struggle, still struggling, still trying to play catch up after that. Much like I guess we all are in some shape or form, but they really do need our help. But first and foremost, it's just a chance to really show everyone all these amazing organizations, hear from them, hear what they're up to, and learn as much as we can about their amazing stories.
Oh, great. I guess my next question is going into the speakers themselves. How did you select them? Was there any sort of particular criteria you had? And I guess a general overview of what topics they'll be covering as well.
Yeah, so obviously the main overriding element is wildlife conservation. So all of the speakers have got some kind of link to doing conservation work, linked to some particular species, or a general breadth of species. They're generally organizations that I've been linked up with and working with through the years with the Expedition Project. A lot of them I've met in the very first research expedition that I did in 2012, and then some new ones as well. Some of the speakers are some of the popular ones from the last event last year, and then some new ones that we've added in there. And then another kind of sort of reason for choosing some of the speakers was also wanted to choose some inspirational women in conservation as well. So a lot of our speakers are actually amazing, inspirational sort of women in conservation. And here's just some of the amazing ones we've got lined up, who are going to be some of the live and pre-recorded talks. Absolutely incredible, incredible organizations. So we got ProVet Animal Hospital, we got Umoya, Khulula Wildlife Center, we've got Marine Dynamics, Dial Island Conservation Trust, we've got Nature's Valley Trust, we've got BioWise, we've got Hoedspruit Endangered Species Center, Cape Leopard Trust, Zululand Conservation Trust and Zululand Rhino Orphanage, Provet Animal Hospital, and then Terry Honiball, who's representing Madikwe Game Reserve, as well as Wildlife Ecolab and Nelson Mandela University. So yeah, like absolutely amazing list of speakers, and obviously all of them are diving into their specialities and their specific topics.
No, that's great. No, I'm very excited to see all these women in conservation. Very inspiring. My next question is, what are some of the ways attendees can get involved with live streams and speakers on the day?
Yeah. So what I think I'll do, let me just sort of share my screen now, and I'll show you how to kind of get involved, navigate around the event, how it sort of works with regards compared to maybe other events similar to this that you've been to. But I will give you a little lead into this. Is we're housing this event on the Expedition Project website rather than on a third-party like event platform, which might be what you might be used to in other similar sort of online events. And the reason we've done this is a few reasons, so that you can interact in lots of different ways around the event. And move to other parts of the website as well to see other bits of information that we're talking about, information about obviously the speakers and the organizations, and very important, so that you can make use of it after the event as well. Go watch the replays and connect it to all the other elements that we've got on the Expedition Project website. So let me just share my screen here. So if you, once you sort of bought a ticket, then what you need to do is go to your courses section of the website. So you click on My Courses over there, and basically that's where it'll be housed. That's where anything you buy, all your content, your downloads, and your courses, online courses, and all that kind of stuff will be. So you can find it there. There'll also be a pop-up on the day just to show you exactly where to go on the day. But one of the ways to find it is to go via the My Courses section. So now once you click on the conference that you've bought a ticket for there, it'll open up your main sort of event page, and just letting that load at the moment now. And once you get into the main lesson page, you'll notice it's kind of laid out after some introductions there. When you scroll down, it's laid out into modules and lessons, and this enables you to move to different sections, find out about different speakers and organizations, and then also join into the live talks as well. So the start little bit will just be a little bit of an introduction and everything like that. But the main ways to interact, if you look there, what you need to look out for are all the sort of live talks over there. So there's a live talk there, live talk 3, live talk 4, live talk 5.
Chronological order on there?
They're all in chronological order, correct? Yeah. So they're all scrolling down based on the order that they're going to come up on the day. So the live talks are obviously the main ways to interact. And once you open up those live talks, then the live video will be sort of available there for you to watch and ask questions and all that kind of stuff. So once a live talk is going, you can ask questions in the little text box underneath, and those will get sent to us. So you can ask stuff throughout that talk, so that we can then prompt the speaker afterwards for Q&A and stuff like that. So that's the main sort of way to interact. The other way to interact, in each section, you'll see there's a little background bit of information on that speaker. That's just general information, so you can find out a little bit more. Then after the talk, you'll see a little forum section. Now, when you click on that, it'll open up a specific forum for that topic and for that speaker. So you can then interact at any point, before the conference, during the conference, after the conference, get the conversation going, speak to any other people that are attending the conference, and sort of, yeah, just any sort of general topics or comments or questions you've got. And then the other way to interact is the sort of help from home section, the final sort of element in each of the little module sections there. And this basically gives you some additional options, some additional ways to get involved with what that organization does. And this could be some virtual volunteering, this could be additional donations, this could be their social media details, ways to read more and find out more about some of the research or work they're doing. Just gives you a little bit sort of further information where you can take it further after the event. And then finally, and hopefully very popular, just like last year, will be our chat room. Now, what you need to do for that is scroll all the way down to the very bottom, and you'll see at the bottom, you'll see a little chat room section over there. And when you click on that, that'll open up an embedded kind of chat room functionality within the website, where you can then choose and enter into a number of different breakout rooms and a number of different groups within that video chat room. You can choose the breakout room depending on the topic, and they'll all be labeled, for example, under leopards or hyenas or cheetahs or wildlife conservation, tourism, or whatever sort of topic you're interested in. Then you can move around into the different chat rooms, speak to not only the speakers, but also to some other attendees of the event that might be interested in that topic as well. But one sort of caveat with that chat room, and important to know, is that they might not always be active and full of people all the time. Obviously, some people are going to be watching kind of some of the talks and stuff like that. So the best bit of advice for the chat rooms is to move to the chat room straight after the particular talk. So, for example, if you just watch the talk on leopards, if you move to the leopard breakout room in that, you're more likely to get activity in that straight after that.
Right.
But yeah, those are the main sort of ways to sort of get involved and make use of it.
And I guess the next question would be, for those unable to make the live events, how do the replays work, and how can they get involved? Yeah,
so every talk that you can see on this list that's sort of labeled a live talk will then automatically be converted to a replay option after the talk. So you'll be able to watch it on replay afterwards, and basically go and watch that at any point. But also worth knowing that a lot of some of the talks are available as pre-recorded features from Sunday, so you can start watching those, and any gaps you've got on the day as well, and you can see those labeled under pre-recorded feature, which you can see there on the screen. So the live talks will be the one that'll be sort of aired live, and there'll be discussions going, and then there'll be a whole lot of pre-recorded features. You can see there, pre-record, and these are all organizations that have sent ahead their specific topic and their talk in advance. And the reasons behind this is mainly because of load shedding in South Africa. Now, load shedding, for those of you who don't know, is power cuts and power outages in the country to kind of distribute the power more evenly. The country is struggling a lot at the moment with electricity usage and stuff like that. So sections of the country are getting sort of these load sheddings, these power outages, quite often during the week. And unfortunately, this is hitting the country quite a lot, which means a lot of the speakers aren't able to join live. So they've sent these pre-records in advance so that, people can still get involved. So replay option, but there's also the pre-recorded option, which will be available as well.
Great. And now I did see right near the end of the conference, there's going to be a live panel. Can you explain a little bit about what that will be, who's going to be involved? Yeah, perfect. So right at the end, let me just actually go, I've just gone too far. So at the very end, one of the last sort of sections of the conference is our sort of end of conference panel. Now, for those of you who joined last year, we had a fantastic panel and discussion with some of the speakers from that day, who then sort of came in and joined and had a little chat amongst themselves. We got some questions from the audience. We've done it slightly differently this year. And we've brought in some other speakers and some other guests that aren't necessarily connected with the organizations that have been speaking throughout the day that you might have watched live and stuff like that. So we want to bring in a completely different kind of perspective onto this. And some of these speakers are, let me just find the speaker list. Some of these speakers are Cape Nature, who operates in the Western Cape of South Africa, and are very much focusing on ecotourism and working with farmers and various different elements of leopard conservation and different elements of campaigns to try and protect their local environment. So fantastic organization. We've then got WWF South Africa, and obviously, everyone knows the WWF. So the South African version of that, obviously involved in some amazing work. We've then got Two Oceans Aquarium Education Foundation. So it's either going to be Tally, Andrea, or Andrea from Two Oceans Aquarium Foundation joining us on that. But we are a little bit worried about some load shedding that is scheduled. So we do have a standby from Marike, who's going to be potentially joining us from Sambra and SeaWorld in Durban, who do a lot of sort of research
on the KwaZulu-Natal area. And then representing the far top right corner of South Africa in the Kruger National Park area and the greater Kruger National Park area and Timbavati Private Game Reserve, we've got Tula. So Don Scott's going to be joining us from Tula to give his perspective on ecotourism and what sort of how the role that plays within wildlife conservation in general. So yeah, fantastic sort of additional panel there. We've also got some of the speakers that are speaking throughout the day that may sort of pop in and join on the panel as well, depending on what load shedding is going on towards the end of their day as well. Very complicated, as you can see this year with all the load shedding going on. But yeah, it should be a great panel. And you can get involved there by asking questions in the exact same way of all the other live talks. But what we're going to be focusing on with this panel is looking at some of the sort of the past, the present, and the future sort of aspects of what they're doing. So some of the opportunities that have come about because of COVID, what lessons they've learned from that, some success stories of the last year, and then what are they working towards over the next 5 years. So some really, really good topics coming up there.
No, very exciting. I can't wait. And another question is on the day, if someone has any technical issues or anything and they need some help, how do they go about doing that?
Yeah, sure. So if you see on the screen now that I'm sharing, on the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little blue circle with a little red sort of comment box thing. If you click on that, I'll be available on that, so you can ask any questions if you're struggling or anything like that. You can pop a little question to me there, and I'll aim to answer you as soon as I can, and help you with any sort of any issues you've got.
Great. I think that almost covered all my questions.
Okay.
Another one is similar to the wildlife online modules. There is certificates you get for completing the conference. Will there be something similar for this conference? Or
yeah, so it's a good question. So because we've laid this out in quite an interactive kind of e-learning format and everything, once you have clicked complete on all the different sections, then a certificate will be generated for you as well. So what you'll need to do at the end of each lesson, you'll see a little complete, end of each talk and page, you'll see a little complete lesson button at the bottom. So once you've clicked on that, it'll kind of mark that you've completed that section and that lesson. Once you've done that with all the lessons, then it'll generate a certificate for you as well. But also what we've added, which is different from last year, is right at the end in the little conclusion and sort of wrap up section, there's going to be a little quiz page where you're going to have an amount of time to complete as many multiple choice questions as you can in a time frame, and we're going to choose a winner to see who gets the most sort of correct answers answered within the time frame given on that, and get a prize out to them as well. So just something a little bit different as well.
No, very fun, very exciting. And yeah, that was all my questions.
Okay, perfect. Well, what I'll just do, just to wrap up, then I'll just give everyone a quick run through of the final schedule and the timings and everything like that, so you can see. So in the lead up to the conference, some of you may have noticed that we've been releasing some information, sort of building up 2 weeks towards the conference. So last week we started releasing some information that continues this week. So you can see the dates there of where more information keeps getting released on these organizations that'll be involved in the event and that you're going to be hearing from. So on those particular days, you can then go and find information out about them on the conference page under the sort of background section, and sort of find out a little bit more about them and who you're going to be hearing from. And then on the conference day, starting at 8:30 a.m., nice, bright and early on Sunday, very early for a lot of you, I'm sure, on Sunday, but we've got a lot to cover on the day. So we're starting at 8:30 with our live introduction, where we're going to go through the plan and talk through some final updates and some bits and pieces for the day. And then the first talk at 9 o'clock will be Cape Leopard Trust, talking all about leopards. 9:45 BST. So yeah, reminder, this is British Standard Time. Add 1 hour for South African time, minus 1 hour for sort of GMT, UTC time. So 9:45 we got Marine Research by Marine Dynamics. 10:30 we got Talk on Whales by Marine Dynamics. 11:15 we got Bronze Whaler Sharks by Marine Dynamics. And then 12 we've got Large Carnivores, in particular hyenas by Terry Lee Honiball. 12:45, we've got Birds and Bees by Nature's Valley Trust. And then there's a little gap in between until the panel starts, which will give you an opportunity to go and watch some of the pre-recorded stuff we've got. Got an amazing talk on coastal conservation, in particular plovers. A really, really inspirational talk by Simone from Zululand Rhino Orphanage on raising rhino orphans. We've got a mammoth talk with Dr. Debbie English and Emma Diacha speaking about rehabilitating and releasing pangolins. Absolutely incredible talk. We've got a little featured video from Hoedspruit Endangered Species Center on their work, in particular their king cheetahs. We've got 2 little videos on biomimicry and how that connects to all of this and how important that is in our world at the moment. And then a talk from the Expedition Project on wildlife conservation tourism and how to pick particular organizations if you want to go and do some volunteering and stuff like that, and some things to look out for. And then that leads us to our panel at 3 p.m. So 3 p.m. British time, where we're going to talk for about an hour with the panel, and then conclusions. And then if anyone's still around after that, the chat rooms will be open for a bit of mingling after that. So yeah, a lot going on, but I do recommend people sort of starting to check out the page, navigating around, getting used to it all before the event, so they know exactly what's going on the day. As I mentioned, it's not sort of a typical event platform. It's laid out in the way it is for to make it easy for you to enjoy it afterwards.
No, thank you so much for explaining everything. It's made it a lot easier to navigate.
Yeah, well, I hope that's helpful for everyone. And yeah, really looking forward to you getting involved. If you haven't got a ticket yet, please do get a ticket, because ticket prices will go up on the day. And then after the event's finished, then ticket prices virtually double after that, because we've got a lot of information. It's going to be over 9 hours of content, loads of different organizations and talks that will all be available on replay. So there's a lot of really worthwhile and useful information for anyone interested in conservation and wildlife conservation. And all the tickets, ticket sales go to the participating organizations. They all get split to the organizations who are joining us on the day. So please do make use of it, and yeah, just get a ticket, spread the word, especially while they are as cheap as they are now. So for non-members, it's £24. Which is about 250 Rand, and for members it's only £10. So yeah, really inexpensive for anyone who's got a membership. And you can grab a free membership or a South African membership for free in order to activate those member discounts as well. Cool.
Great.
Yeah. Anything else from you, Ellie? Have I forgotten anything, do you think?
Let me have a look. No, I think that almost covered everything. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Great. Thank you.
Cool. Well, yeah, looking forward to seeing you all on Sunday. Thank you so much for all your support so far. Please spread the word. And yeah, thanks again, Ellie, for your help with this.
No worries.
Yeah, we'll see you on Sunday, everyone.
See you then.
Thanks so much. Bye.